Happy New Year, everybody! And I truly wish everybody a very happy 2024. Oh, wait a minute. When you look around in the world, there's so much hate going on. Why is that? Well, let's talk about it. People, we all want to be heard. And some of us who have not a lot going on in their lives, they feel the need to be heard the most. Because, well, I already said it, they have nothing else. We're full of pride as well. Yes, I'm including myself. I just start noticing that I did this and then I stopped doing it because, as I mentioned before, who the hell am I? Who the hell are you and who the hell do we all think we are? Do you really believe that you're so important? Why? What makes you stand out? And that is how I talked to myself and found out that we all need a little bit humility. And when I say the word humility, most of us are thinking about people who don't fight back, who are very introvert, and who don't have the guts to say something back. We see those people as weak. But you know what it means? What the word humility actually means? I tell you what it means. It means living in accordance with the truth. People with true humility are the opposite of weak. They will actually speak up, not be introverts. So they are strong, while all the other screamers are the weak ones. You see, as a bouncer, the weakest people always, without exception, were the ones who scream at you. They are the barking dogs. They try to hide their fear behind screaming. I was never afraid of a guy like that. But the one that put me on my toes though, yes, that was the guy who just stayed quiet, just nodded, and then walked away after I told him that he had to leave. Oh, you better believe that I would send somebody after him to make sure that he gets his license plate or something, because those are the guys that might come back at the time that you don't expect it. You see, every serial killer who gets caught, what do the people say who knew him? They always say, he was so quiet and he was so nice. There you go. So screaming is an insecurity. And the harder they scream, the more insecure they are, especially about what they are screaming about. Meaning, if a person doesn't know the truth, but wants to bend the truth to his will, he will start screaming. And then he or she believes that the harder they scream, the more we believe they are correct. But they're simply not. And everybody knows this. So we all need a little bit more humility, and we need to react when our emotions are under control. I mean, how many times did you react to a post, and then the next day when you read it back, you realized it was way over the top? And it was just because your emotions were going crazy. I actually had that a bunch of times myself in my life. Now let me get a little bit deeper into it and give you an example. So let's talk about atheists who always feel the need to react with bad language and anger to Christians when somebody posts something about Jesus, like myself. I'm a big believer. And by the way, if you don't know why I'm a big believer, watch the video on this channel. Why did Bas return to the faith? Because I wasn't a big believer myself until some freaky things started happening to me. Now let's start by saying this. I have friends who are atheists or agnostic. Agnostic, those are the people who neither have faith or disbelief in God. And those friends are great. Otherwise, I wouldn't call them friends. The ones I'm going to talk about in this video are a small percentage of atheists, not agnostics. They don't do this. So I'm talking about a small percentage of atheists. By the way, wait a minute. Now I realize that the screamers are like agnostics, but they simply don't want Jesus to be real, and that's why they're screaming. Okay, this is all going to make a little bit more sense after this story here. Here goes. When a non-believer posts something online and writes that he believes there is no God, you almost won't see any Christian react to that post. And the Christians who do react are the ones that are not sure themselves if there's a God in their confused minds. And that's why they react. Somehow though, when a Christian talks about heaven or hell, a bunch of atheists, again, not a majority, but a bunch, feel the need to respond, and of course always doing that with anger and profanity. Same reason here. In their confused minds, they are not certain if there's heaven or hell. Now let me give you an example so it makes more sense. When I say that I believe in Santa Claus, most atheists are going to say, I'm not surprised, because you also believe in Jesus. This is, by the way, one of their go-to comebacks. But come on, guys, try to find something more original, okay? But when I stay with it and I say, no, I'm not kidding. Santa Claus is real. And I really keep pushing it. None of them will get angry. They'll probably laugh and they just leave the conversation because they go like, this guy's cuckoo, right? They don't do anything because they know 100% positively there is no guy that delivers packages with the help of flying reindeers to every kid in the world through a chimney, and then he eats the cookies and the milk that the people leave for him. Nobody will react with anger because they are not certain, or well, actually they are 100% certain that Santa is not real. But wait, as soon as I replace Santa with Jesus, now they get fired up. So why is that? Because they aren't 100% certain there is no Jesus. We see this a lot in politics as well. The more people scream, the more insecure they are about what they believe is true, whoever is right or wrong. I'm talking left, right, just an example. Same thing with this tape here. Everybody knows this tape is black. They wouldn't get angry when somebody says this tape is red, because every sane person in the world knows that this tape is simply black. They would say, and not scream, say, dude, it's black. None of them will get angry. And this one you heard me say many more times. People also judge others on what they did wrong. You can have been a perfect guy your entire life, you help people, whatever you did well, you do one bad thing and suddenly you're a scumbag. And it's the same with certain groups, right? All cops are bad, all lawyers are criminals, all military, they kill babies, the blood guilds are dumb, athletes are dumb, Muslims are terrorists, priests are pedophiles. I can go on and on. When a very small percentage of a certain group, I mentioned the group, is bad, suddenly that whole group is bad. Unless, of course, it's somebody in their family. You see, if Uncle Joey is the rapist, nobody else in their family is the rapist. And they are even blood related. A funny thing though, if Uncle Joey is the hero, just saved a whole bunch of kids, they immediately are like, yeah, I come from a hero family. You see, my Uncle Joey just saved a bunch of kids. Then they're suddenly the same. You see how this goes, right? That's the same like with a bunch of training camps for fighters. Thankfully not many, but I have seen some. If their fighter wins, we won. But if the fighter loses, he lost. So sticking with the faith, I'm going back to the faith, stop reacting like a douchebag if you don't believe in God. Because the harder you scream, the more insecure you are about what you're saying. And if you want to react, why won't you be smart about it? Why do you feel the need to respond with anger and profanity in a way that somebody would never do in person? I know why, because now you're safe behind your stupid keyboard. If you don't believe in heaven and hell, I'm okay with that. But somehow you're not okay when I do believe in heaven and hell? Listen, every bad comment I read, I stop reading after the first bad word. If you call me a dumbass and then you start writing, you are writing for nothing. You're wasting your time. I'm not going to read what you said. Just think. You're calling me a dumbass. Please explain to me why you would believe that I would read the rest of your message. What is the logic behind that? For a sane person, I mean. Because I know your logic, but you're insane. That's the difference. It's because you would still be reading when I call you a dumbass, because you want to use this as fuel to spit your anger out. It gives you a purpose, since apparently you don't have anything else in your life going on, and others don't hear you, and they don't see you, so you want to be heard. You see, a person who's happy in life will never attack people like you do. Yes, I'm talking to you, the screamers. Like I sell the O2 trainer, right? A lung training device. When I tell people that you have breathing muscles, that your lungs have no muscles in them, and that the only way for your lungs to open up is by your breathing muscles, which, by the way, are for inhaling, your diaphragm, and your external intercostal muscles, which are the muscles in between your ribs. Now, listen, I never knew that before until I was educated in this. It's just a very weird thing, so the majority of people don't know, because it's a very weird thing, as I already said. But then there's always people who, first of all, don't listen to what I say, and second, start LOLing. Oh, well, can you tell me where my breathing muscles are? I want to train them. So just because they don't know how it works, they act as if they do know how it works. That's pride again. And apparently I'm wrong and dumb, and somehow they know better than all the scientists in the world. I mean, there won't be a single pulmonologist in the world who thinks like you. And why? Because if he wouldn't have graduated when he answered that in his test. So just by writing that, you're first of all insecure little person with a fake account, but now you're an insecure little person with a fake account who's also an idiot. Ah well, at least people don't know who you are, right? Since you have the fake account. Although you have to look at yourself in the mirror every evening and morning, right, when you brush your teeth. And now you see not only a weak person, but you also see a weak and dumb person. You should change that crying emoji, to a simple crying emoji, not from laughing. Maybe that's a better thing for you to go to. And just ask yourself this question. When you're dead, how do you want to be remembered? As a guy who tried to excel as, let's say, an example, a great guitarist who wanted to become a great musician, a famous guy, but he couldn't achieve it, and because of that he started hating the world and attacking people online with a fake account so that he could feel better about his life, and then in the end he dies as an angry person with not many friends. Wow, what a great life. Or do you want to be a guy who failed at being a great guitarist, who couldn't become famous because it just didn't work out, which, by the way, hundreds of thousands of guitarists have, same as in any other art, but who kept playing for fun and who found another passion that he fell in love with, pursued that passion, not for money, just for loving it, who raised a beautiful family. And then he taught his kids about failing and about picking it back up so they will be ready when something like that would ever happen to them. And then that person dies, leaves behind a lot of great memories and a lot of people respecting him. Think about that. What guy do you want to be? And this, what I'm going to say right now, I already mentioned before, so I'm repeating myself. It's like those catfish people. Have you ever seen that show? And then when they catch them, you see what kind of people they are. Don't you feel sorry? One look and you see their entire life. It's really sad. Because they have no life. And they need to do this to feel important to themselves. And they can't even share it with anybody else. It's really sad. And I really mean this, very realistic way. I truly feel for these people. Imagine being like that. Something happened to them. Again, I really feel for them. And when people like that attack me, believe it or not, yes, you screamers, I'm throwing out a prayer for them. Because I know they're not in a happy place. Why else the anger? I send them a prayer hands emoji. But that's for the screamers who have no direction and who are just lost, right? If you are one of those guys with a fake account who like to attack people online and you're going to be a douche about it, yes, I will pray for you as well. But because you're trying to hurt people with your comments, I pray for you that you have the cojones to react from a real account with your real name. So if you start attacking me and you're a keyboard warrior, the only response you're going to get from me is a prayer hand emoji and a nuts emoji. And again, that means that I pray for you to find your nuts and become a man or woman, right? I mean, we have them in both sexes. Okay, I'm going to close out with this. It's weird, but you know immediately what I'm doing. Imagine you have two animals in your mind. You have a love animal and you have a hate animal. All of us have both. Which animal will grow the fastest? It's simple. It's the one that you feed the most. So I suggest you start feeding the love animal. It's hard because studies say that you get more endorphins and dopamines from being angry, and that's why you're feeding the hate animal the most. But focusing on the love animal will actually help you with being more social as well. And because of that, you're also going to get some real friends. And don't we all want true friends? Godspeed, everybody. Now, if you're one of those people who thrive on hate and didn't learn anything from this video, I give you one more boost. I love Jesus Christ. Osu.